Hello, everybody. Well, this is a surprise, isn't it? It's Friday, December 3rd. It's 2:30, and I couldn't let you go home without a special episode of Let's Talk Kids Health Facebook Live with my friend, Dr. Funke Brown. Welcome her, please. Yay! well, well, I just wanted to say we wanted to have a special episode specifically to talk about teens and sleep. For those of you who are watching, anytime if you come on live, I know this is a surprise, so some of you might not even know that this is happening. But if you're watching either live or on replay and have a teenager or tween, and you're like, hey, I am sleepless, I need some help. Make sure you like this, share it, comment, because we are here to get you some information. So, Dr. Brown, may I ask you to please give yourself an introduction
Yeah.
because I want to make sure that we do it with due justice.
Oh, thank you so much. Good to see you again, Dr. Bar. I feel like I'm a frequent flyer on your show now.
Oh, well, I love it. It's my treat. So,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm Dr. Funke Brown. I'm the founder of Restful Sleep MD, and I help busy professionals, especially moms and their children, prioritize sleep because we know that sleep affects every aspect of life. It affects the child's function, mood, health, and well-being, and also affects the parents as well. And so, really, I'm on a mission to help everybody sleep better
oh,
because when we sleep better, we live better.
yes. I mean, I have to admit, my sleep is not great. I am a night owl. I am slowly trying to fix my sleep, and every time I go to sleep at like 1:30, I think, "Oh, Dr. Brown's voice. I can hear it. Like, you gotta go to bed. You got."
I love it.
I know. I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm going to bed."
I love it. My work is done. My work is done.
Oh, but let's talk about like teenagers in
Yeah.
particular and why this kind of period in adolescence is so difficult and challenging for
Mm,
parents. I've
yeah.
seen some of these cases, you have too, but let's
Yeah.
just set the tone here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a period of rapid change. Their brains are developing so rapidly, their bodies are changing, so many hormonal changes. And so, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, cognitively, they're changing so quickly. And so, the same way they need a healthy diet, right? The same way they need exercise, sleep is so critical to their function. So, with teenagers, particularly with adolescents and things, and with puberty, there's just a shift. So they're faced with so much. There's a change in their bodies, right? So there's a delay in their circadian rhythm. So they may not feel tired at the normal time. So if you had your 10 or your 9-year old who would easily go to bed at about 9, at 10, they're not sleepy now as teenagers. They don't want to sleep till like 11 or so. So that's one thing. So there's the physiologic changes,
Mhm.
and also there's the social changes as well. Right now they're connected constantly with technology, which is good. We want them to be in community. They really need that. They need to build those social skills. But the issue is that with devices and things like that, that's impacting their sleep because they're not able to get the sleep they need quickly. And so now you're combining those behavioral changes where they're really relying on their phones and texting and chatting with physiology. It's only going to push their sleep till later. So that's just one aspect at the beginning of the night. And then on top of that, if they could sleep, if they really sleep in line with their circadian rhythm, many times they don't have any problem. They're able to maybe go to sleep at 11, and the thing is, they may want to wake up later. So they may
Mhm.
prefer a later wake up time, about 9 p.m., 9 a.m. or so. But of course, most schools need them in school early now with the early school start times and things like that. So they're kind of getting shortchanged on both ends.
Mhm.
And so then what you have is this state of chronic sleep deprivation, where they're sleeping sometimes 6 or 7 hours. And the ideal is for them to get about 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And so now they're really short changed at both ends. And then on the weekends, what are they trying to do? They're trying to play catch up. And so a
Hmm.
lot of times they're sleeping until noon on a Saturday, and it's like, oh my goodness, life
Yeah.
is passing you by. But they're not necessarily being lazy. It's like the odds are somewhat stacked against them. And the problem with trying to catch up on sleep on the weekends is you never fully catch up. And so we really need to find ways to help them get the sleep they need more consistently.
Hmm. So, I'm just kind of putting myself in those parents' shoes because I have a almost 15-year-old and a 12-year-old now, and I've seen their circadian rhythm
Yeah,
sort of shift. Luckily for us, the school district, did shift start times
oh,
for
that's
school,
awesome.
which is
Mm,
great. But I
yeah.
know, as you said, a lot of parents don't have that luxury. So how would you advise them? They understand, yes, teens need to be social. They are on their screens. They're using it for school. They need it for connection. But how can they prevent themselves from being like the bad guy? Because at some point they need to take it away, or they need to help them learn these healthier sleep habits. I mean, and parents and teens get in this struggle a lot.
Does. It's a big problem,
Hmm.
honestly. I think between that and their need for autonomy, right?
Yes.
They feel this is something I should be able to control, right? And so then there's this button heads constantly. And so really I feel like it starts with a foundation of helping them understand what's going on. Sometimes as parents, we're so frustrated at night, everybody's exhausted. It's like, get off your screen and go to bed. And so there's not much learning going on there.
Hmm.
So I think it's really helping them build the foundation of that understanding to start with in and empowering them that way so that they can then make those choices in favor of them getting adequate sleep. I think that's where it really starts from.
Hmm. Do you have any recommendations for this?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, in addition to just talking, but of
Hmm.
course, if talking alone would work as would work as parents, we would have perfect teens.
Yes. That's right.
So I know. So the way I think of it is, I would say I would recommend four things.
Hmm.
Okay, the first step is first of all understanding your teen, really getting a sense of when is it best, when do you think you can engage best with them. So if everyone's frustrated, trying to help them understand the fact that, okay, you know what, this exhaustion you feel, this difficulty getting out of bed in the morning, it's not necessarily all your fault. These are the things that are happening. You may not be able to sit to speak with them when they're tired or cranky. So really trying to find out, okay, when's the best time to have these conversations with them.
Hmm.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is setting those limits. One way or the other, we are still in charge. So I think, we don't want to be the bad cop, but I think really as part of those conversations, when you're having it with them, is okay, listen, we do have to set some limits with this technology. We do have a limit by at which time we do have to switch this up so that you can get the sleep you need.
Right.
Um, the third thing I would say is being a role model. So really, our kids are watching what we do more
Right.
than hearing what we say. This is a safe. This is also for me. It's a safe. My son turns 13 in a week, so I'm with you. But it is. I think also for our own health as well, right? It's
Yes.
not just that. Not only our kids need sleep, we need to help to set healthy sleep habits. So really being a role model, I think, is really helpful for everyone in the family. And then I think this was part of the reason why I decided to create the Sleeping Teens course, which I would say is number 4. And really, I kind of looked, and you look out there, you Google sleep, a lot of information about how to get babies to sleep, right? How
Hmm.
to sleep train, how to get those toddlers out of your bed, and things like that. And then it's almost as if we skip our teens and we're like, okay, good luck. We'll see you when you're an adult. There's really not much out there. And with relating and interacting with a lot of teens, I realized this was a need. They also need to learn this themselves. They also need to be empowered to be able to to take that on, to
Hmm.
understand what's going on with their bodies, what's changing with their sleep, and how they can learn to make healthy sleep choices.
Hmm.
And so that's really what the Sleeping Teens course is about, which, I recently launched a week ago.
Wow. So this is really exciting. Congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. So, for those who are like, oh, so is this a course that then the teen does on their own, or does it adult do? Do they do it together? Like how would you recommend folks do this?
Yeah, so essentially it's a 7 model self-paced course for the teen.
Okay.
So the way it works is, of course, the parent would have to enroll your teen, and then you get your own, membership page with the courses. In addition to that, there is a downloadable worksheet, and so a workbook actually with actual prompts in terms of what are the limiting beliefs. Because one of the things I feel, just the same way we want to make healthy choices, even with our diet, our exercise, you need to get out of your head first. Like,
Yes.
what's limiting me? What are the things that are going on with my sleep that's preventing me from getting restful sleep? Why? What are the things within my control? What are the things that are not within my control? And how can I make changes to move forward?
Yep.
So really, I want those teens to start to think through those processes, because they're now at a point where no matter how much you as a parent try to convince them, until they do that introspective work themselves, you don't see as much of a transformation. And so really that's what the prompts, the journal prompts are. And so they can actually write. I actually encourage printing it out, because that way we get them not scrabble writing
Yes.
on their phones as well. And I think sometimes when you put pen to paper, it just really helps things sync better.
Hmm.
And in addition to the workbook, there's actually a sleep diary as well that I created, which kind of helps them actually track their sleep over the period of the course, to say, okay, you know what, I was sleeping only 6 hours, since implementing certain changes based on, what I've learned from the course. Look at the length of my sleep. And then they can kind of see and really make those connections to say, oh, wow, it's kind of more of an objective way to see how things change over time.
Hmm.
So I really feel this is very beneficial. Of course, parents can watch as well. I feel like even as parents, you can learn a lot from what I put into this course. I just kind of tailored it more in a way that the teens kind of get it, because I made it with them in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So 7 modules that they go
Yeah.
through on their own. Is it lifetime access? I mean, could they go back? And
Yes,
okay.
yes, very great. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, so you get lifetime access. Why? Because things change, life happens. You hit a moment, a pace, a part of your life where sleep all of a sudden falls out the window. So this way they can always refer back. And my hope is that if you learn these skills, honestly, as a foundation, looking back when I was making this course, I'm like, oh my goodness, I would have loved to have this in high school.
Hmm.
These, I feel, should be almost like part of a curriculum where you can actually understand what's going on in your sleep.
Yep.
And then it kind of lays that foundation for healthy sleep choices, even as you become an adult.
Hmm.
But the benefit too is that there is the lifetime membership. So that way they can always come back. In addition to that, there is a private Facebook group for parents. So, should there be struggles or issues that parents still have, or things that come up during the course, that can always be shared. And this way, you're in a community of parents of teens who are kind of walking in the shoes you're walking in, and things like that. So, I think I really wanted to put that support in place as well.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
And I'm just wondering, because you said that parents can model healthy sleep habits, and some of the parents who might be watching are like, "Ooh, I'm not really good at sleep either. Could I benefit from this course as well?" Is it something that they could do
Yes.
along with their teen?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I would encourage it. I think
Uh-huh.
the idea is, one, I want our teens to have that. I want them to have the sense of autonomy. They understand. Like, for example, my son's like, oh my gosh, mommy, are we ever going to have a late night since you're a sleep doctor? you know but no, it turns out they're watching and they're learning. They're like, okay, can I go to bed at 10 because you said I can sleep a little extra on the weekends. So I'll
Mm,
still get my total number of hours of sleep. So I as a parent, I think you would absolutely benefit from it. I did put in things like the recommended number of hours of sleep for teenagers and things like, but you can absolutely apply a lot of what's in the course to yourself as a parent, and you can do it together with your teen as well. I think that would be phenomenal.
mhm.
I know as moms busy and things like that, you may end up just having your teen do, but if you could do it together, I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, well, and with the lifetime access, I
Yeah,
mean, right? So,
yeah,
and then with the Facebook group that you mentioned, I know that a
yeah,
lot of parents really love that because then they can commiserate and be like, "Oh, look what happened. I'm trying
yeah,
this or he's trying this." It's,
yeah,
and get some tweaks and some advice, right? Which is
yeah,
always helpful.
yeah,
I have down below where folks can go to register and purchase the course. Is there any, this is like brand new, right? I mean, it just was released, right?
yeah, yeah.
So congratulations. Is there any special things that you're offering right now? If people
Yeah,
act now?
yeah, absolutely. So, as for those who enroll early, actually before December 13th,
Uh-huh.
there is a $50 Amazon gift card that you actually get as well, just for signing on early. And the reason why I thought of that is, okay, this is a course. I mean, as soon as your teen hears what course, school, they start to make those connections, and and they may want to get put up, but you could just let them know, okay, listen, at the end of this course, guess what Restful Sleep MD has for you for completing the course? A $50 Amazon gift card. So it's a gift. It's a
Wow.
gift of restful sleep. And I thought, this is the season of giving. This is the holiday season. What perfect way, to wrap up the year, really empower them with the gifts that keeps giving.
Yeah.
So, now they know how to sleep better. Now they understand the importance of sleep, and they're empowered with the strategies, and they get this extra bonus to use in any way they so desire. So
Wow.
that's the early sign on bonus that you get.
Wow. I mean, so that's not just for one person. That's for anybody who does it before the 13th?
Yes,
Wow,
absolutely.
that is so
So with
generous.
every course,
Yes.
every time you enroll in the course, it comes with that $50 Amazon gift card that gets sent to your inbox.
Yeah. That's really nice. And what a way to kickstart the new year with
Mm.
intention to really focus on yourself. And this is a nice extra added incentive for the teenagers. So
Yes, a little extra motivation.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is lovely. I'm so excited for you. I know that this has been one of your sort of missions, not only to, launch your business, but to work specifically with teens. I may I just ask before I let you go, what was your inspiration for doing a course specifically?
I would say my niece and nephew.
Mm,
They they are just incredible.
mm-hmm.
And there was a time they called me because they know I'm very interested in sleep. And they asked, they're like, can I take a nap? I'm so tired. And I'm like, wow. And the questions they kept bringing up seemed very basic, but he was just like, actually, it was my nephew that asked me. And they seemed really basic, like, oh, of course, this is what I do all the time. But I'm like, well, where would he hear this?
Mm-hmm.
Where would he hear? The only thing he probably would hear is just go to sleep, get off your phone, go to sleep, get off your phone, go to sleep. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get out of the room and do something. And I'm like, they don't even he's not sure, because there's really nowhere he's going to learn this.
Yeah.
And so that really got me thinking, like, how can we do this in a way where it's early enough in the season where they can make those changes themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Because prior to that, you as the parent can just say, go straight to your room, I'm turning out the light, you go to bed. But now he's at a stage where he's actually motivated to make changes for himself,
Mm-hmm.
but wasn't sure how to do it. And so that was really my inspiration.
Wow, wow. And because you develop this, so many more teens can get good sleep too. I think,
Yeah.
anytime we can empower our kids to learn these life lessons, it just goes so much better.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're giving them the gift of sleep, and everybody needs sleep. So
Yeah.
restorative. So,
Yes. Yes, it
yeah.
is.
Well, so congratulations. You heard her. Please sign up for the course. And if you do it before December 13th, your teenager will get a $50 Amazon gift card. So you can actually say, hey, you get good sleep plus. You can use this for whatever you want. So at the end. Yeah, well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. And I do hope folks will check out your website, your course. I'll make sure to put the information in the show notes. This is being broadcast both to the Facebook parenting discussion group, but also to the YouTube channel. So please, if you have missed this or just are seeing this and you're like, oh my gosh, somebody else needs to see this, please share this episode with other people who desperately need some Z's. Everybody will thank you. All right. Well, thanks again, Dr. Brown. And I love having you, so I'll probably have you on again sometime soon.
You know what? I'm actually I have another course up my sleeves for moms,
Oh,
busy moms. So well, I'll keep you posted.
oh yes, I need that one. All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, friend. We'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks for having me.